Marquise Hill on the trumpet, everybody. I wonder if it's okay for me to keep using this as my theme song. It's for a record I'm going to release in a long time. Here, I'll turn down the volume of it. Is this better? You can hear me now? Good morning, everybody. That's Mackay McCraven on the drums. That's Daryl Jones on the bass. That is Marquise Hill on the trumpet. That is Jeff Parker on the guitar. And yours truly on piano. That's a song that I haven't released yet, but I will next year at some point. We've got another great Chicago artist coming to you today, Mr. Junius Paul. This guy, Junius Paul, has been a collaborator. This is what happens when you do an 8 a.m. show as motivation to wake up in the morning. This is actually my own personal motivation every day. You're my reason for getting up in the morning. And that's why I want to play you this unreleased material. Yeah, everybody who loves Junius, raise your hand. It's me. I love Junius. And you guys probably do too if you're jazz fans, because he's making some major noise right now. Some very well-deserved acclaim. All over the world. It's amazing how the world is embracing the Chicago scene right now. So we're gonna listen to a little bit of a show that we did together first. It's gonna be from North Sea Jazz Festival. Let me fix this camera a little bit. We're gonna listen to a show that we did at North Sea Jazz Fest with Mackay McCraven. And then we're going to, have him on. Sukazi, hello. I don't know how to pronounce anybody's names when they're not stupid American names like Greg. I only pronounce one-syllable names. Even Junius kind of took me a minute when we first met. I was like, what? Which is actually his middle name, by the way. I found out when I was registering flights for when I had to use his passport name, and I messed it up. That was, oh man, we have some stories. Today might be a really fun one because we really have some stories. Like that time when I put Junius as his first name on his passport and he almost couldn't do the Europe tour. They wouldn't let him fly and we were already late. Oh man, that was a disaster and entirely my fault, like most of the disasters in my life. But hey, you know what? We got through it and it was a great tour. Yeah, this is fun. Listen to this music. I love playing you stuff that I haven't released yet. This is like kind of cool, right? I took a little bit of a note from the book of Mackay McCraven and did some loop chopping. And that's Marquise on trumpet again, with Daryl Jones on bass, and oh, that's Joel Ross playing vibes there. Woo, listen to that. Oh, wait, let's back that up a little bit. Let's hear Joel vibing over that. Where'd he go? I swear I heard him. Joel? There he is. Oh, that's another guy from Chicago who's getting so much acclaim that he deserves right now, is Joel Ross. I'm gonna try to get him on here. He's hard to nail down. That dude is in demand. Oh. Yeah, now this. Yeah, Rio, that's Marquise Hill on the trumpet. That is, Rio says that's some nice tonguing by the trumpet player, and that is absolutely correct because Marquise's technique is impeccable. Yeah. Hey, so now that that's over, let's check out a little YouTube video. I'll probably get flagged for this, but I want to show you. I want to show you something I did. A show that Junius and I did together. So let's go to our web browser here. All right, that's good. It's not anything scandalous. Wait, that's not the right one though. I'm tiny there. Here we go. That's right. Okay. So we're gonna check out a little bit of this video from North Sea Jazz Fest. This was with Junius Paul on bass. Oh, there's me plucking the strings on the piano, doing some weird shit like I always do. Oof, that was a fun show. Remember that, everybody? Who was there? Brandy Younger on the harp. Here, let's like move this in a little bit. I think that'll be better. Yeah, there we go. That looks like a good setting of this. So yeah, Makai McCraven on the drums. This is Makai's group over at. Hey, it's Kevin Neighbors. What up, dude? That's a blast from the past. So these man, I wish I had a video of me and Junius when we were playing with Kevin Neighbors. Kevin's a Kiln sax player from Chicago, and we played together all the time. I don't know where he lives now. This was like probably 12 years ago that Kevin was able to sleep. Like that night when he went to sleep, he just laid down. I think it was like on a little couch or maybe on a floor. I can't remember. Just went to sleep and woke up the next morning and was ready to go. Like no change of clothes, no anything. And I was like, how the hell did you do that? Little did I know that we had to learn how to do that as musicians, which I learned later as I was cutting my teeth on some of these tours. San Antonio. Oh man. This says tell WDCB about your streamcast. That's a good idea. I should do that. Maybe I can get a radio show. Who thinks that I should be on public radio? I do. That'd be great. Of course, then when I start talking about my like sort of centrist viewpoints on everything, they'll probably take me off because I do support public radio. I think it's very important though. So I don't know. Maybe there's a balance. Good morning, Ian Jesse. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking for a second so we can listen to this. Listen to Junius' sound there. This is the guy, for those of you just tuning on, this is the guy that we're gonna have later on today. Junius Paul. That's Joel, Matt on the guitar. Yeah, the song is Black Lion from one of Makai's recent albums. Irvin Pierce, also on the Chicago Experiment recording I just played you. Oh wow, yeah, my hair was different. That was when I like sort of relaxed it. Now it's fluffy. Look, it's terrible. Ugh, so much fluff I can't get a fucking haircut because nobody knows how to cut hair here. I told my family I would learn how to cut hair if one of them did. Hasn't happened yet. Turning into a little Jufro extravaganza here. Keep that on. Hey, big shout out to Joel Ross who just shared this video. Joel, I'm telling you right now, I want to have you on this series. We have Junius coming up in a little bit, but bro, I need to get you on here. That'd be amazing. People would love it. But here, okay, I think I solo here, so I'm gonna keep this playing so you can see. Ha ha ha, I can do whatever I want because it's my show. Oh, we had some feedback actually. Yeah, I remember this part. Ignore the feedback. Get my Herbie on a tiny bit over here. Put this on. I don't know why the volume is so low on that video though. Oh God, I miss these days. I can't wait till we can go back on the road again. What's up, Isaiah Spencer? Oh, all the Chicago homies are coming out. I had my velvet jacket on. That was fun. That was totally a bit from Herbie. There's a big part of me that wishes I'd taken another chorus here before this ends. Because it was North Sea Jazz Festival, you know? I think that was my only solo in the show. And... oh no, I did, I forgot. I gave him the cue. I remember this now. I gave them the cue but it was too subtle. Nobody caught it. So then I kept going for another round. And now they're gonna go. This was the... so yeah, it's perfect. It's great. No regrets. I remember I was late for the show. Yeah, past me. That was a good one. Yeah, I was late for this show and I had to ask, I didn't know where the stage was. So I had to ask the North Sea Jazz Fest administrator people, like, where the fuck am I supposed to go? We have to play in like 10 minutes. Literally it was like 10 minutes before showtime. So they walked me through the crowd to the front of the stage and I just climbed up onto the front of the stage like 5 minutes before the show started and did like my little check and then walked off. I was so relieved that I didn't actually miss the North Sea Jazz Fest show. I don't know if Micaiah ever knew that story. Hopefully he's not watching this. Woo! Oh, that was a fun one. I enjoyed that. Probably is one of the most.
If I gave you an automated Amazon business,
oh God, stop talking to me.
$100,000 per month.
I don't
in
care.
Less than
No.
6 months.
No. Okay. God, that's the worst way to go back into something or other. Here, let's play a little bit more background music while I'm talking to you because this. Ooh yeah. Here, this is sort of like trippy something or other track that's also going to be on the Chicago Experiment. Ooh, I look tired this morning. Again, Micaiah on the drums. Let me turn that down for you. So yeah, in that show, what was I gonna say? Oh, so I was talking about how I like did some Herbie licks and did a little bit from Herbie there, which I did, and I'm not ashamed of it. Which I want to speak to that a little bit, because there was something that, and this was one of the things that Wallace Roney told me in the last show that, like during the period where we were last playing together in New York, a few 3 or 4 months ago. The late Wallace Roney, by the way, who tragically passed from COVID-19 just recently. But Wallace, he was giving me guidance at this show. And one thing he said to me was, I know you're mentored by Herbie and everything, and, you're picking up some of his stuff, but he said, when you have the chance to learn from somebody like that, like, you don't just... Again, you can reach into their back pocket and take one of their ideas, take one of their concepts. It's like, don't just pick at it. Don't just take a little bit of it. Take the whole thing, because it becomes yours. And obviously your voice develops into something that's not that person, but you gotta take it all and get every little nuance and every little detail. So that's something that I need to work on, and that I'm gonna be working on as far as my understanding of Herbie's playing. I have bits and pieces of it, but there's a lot more to go. I mean, one of the deepest cats in music, like, living, period. Happy birthday, by the way, to Herbie yesterday. Yeah, trying to get him to come on the show on Thursday. We'll see. He says he'd love to, but he's very busy, and he might be able to get through enough stuff so that he can take a few minutes on Thursday to talk with us. But at the very least, we've got somebody from Snarky Puppy. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to announce it yet, and we've got some other really great people coming and gonna zoom in with us on Hey Germany, what's up? I love it. Oh man, some people are coming out this morning. It's Monday, everybody. It's Monday, fun day. Woo! Every day's a weekend because we're all in quarantine. Oh man. Yeah, I could do this. I might actually stay in quarantine after we're allowed to be out of quarantine, because I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm not saying I like what's going on. It's very bad that there's a whole terrible disease that's plaguing humanity right now. But the lifestyle, I'm not mad at right now, because I'm one of those introvert-extrovert people. In fact, Junius made a post about this, which was quite interesting. I related to it. It's like the extroverts are going crazy right now, but the introverts are just like chilling into their space right now. And I this is my extroverted part of the day, at this hour in the morning, but the rest of it, I'm just like, zen. Yeah. So, that's that. Ooh. Yeah, the phone. This is double. Oh yeah. Double take. I could like play along my own music. Okay. Woo. Anybody know what song this is? Anybody? 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 I love that I'm motivating people to get up in the morning. Dan Spiro, another distant cousin of mine, says, I made it. So if I'm getting up in the morning, maybe you're getting up in the morning too. And we're all just waking up, breathing in the beautiful air. Yep, got it. Maiden Voyage. Very good. Waking up, breathing in. I also open a window every night before I go to sleep and every morning, and it always refreshes me. And music refreshes me. I listen to music every morning. Mozart for at least like 10, 15 minutes. And and then I love waking up to you guys on this. We've got 3 minutes and we're gonna have Junius Paul on here. As long as he's up. Did he text me back? Yep, sweet, he's up. Cool. Oh man, that's the thing about live shows. You really never know what's gonna happen. We could say anything and it's in the annals of history at that point. So you gotta be careful, but you also don't, because it's more fun if you're not careful on live television. Haha. The fun part is I can make you listen to me play before he comes on if you're waiting for him. Haha. Woo! 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 Oh man, anybody know about the woos, the jazz musician woos? I love those. Like, there's such a great Instagram video of when I think it was when I was playing with Micaiah at the Jazz Showcase, and Junius was on this one. I'm almost 100% positive. Junius was on it too, and then two young musicians who are in Chicago were sitting on the stage. You know, at the Jazz Showcase, you sit like on the side of the stage, and so they're like chairs, so you're looking at the band but you're sitting next to the band, and they were taking an Instagram video and somebody played something, I don't remember who it was, and they like did the woos, but they were like echoes of each other, like woo woo, and then it was really fun. You probably had to see the video, but maybe I'll find it at some point. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, send it to me and I'll play it. Wait, there's one of the Micah Collier. I actually don't know which one. again with my pronunciation of names. But one of the Collier brothers. Was that you? I feel like that was you who was there and did that video. It was so funny. Micaiah and I were cracking up over that afterwards. Woo, woo, woo. Oh, hey, I gotta start the Zoom meeting for Junius. We're gonna have Junius Paul, getting Junius on the line. Yeah, everybody, getting Junius Paul. Here we go, Zoom meeting. Yeah. Whoa, why is that case study? What the hell? Oh, I see. I have a video. Yeah, whatever. Join with computer audio. We're using the computer audio, and now I gotta go and change my window. Okay, here we go. Changing the window to Zoom. Zoom. And we will, participants, that's me. All right, Junius will be joining us shortly. And then, so right now we're in it. Probably don't need to be, I have it set so it automatically records all the meetings like within Zoom meeting, but probably don't, whatever, I'll allow it to keep recording. That's okay. Because we're live anyway. I just need to delete this other Safari there. Boom. Okay, so right now you're seeing the double of Zoom and me, but the big me is going to be taken over by Junius pretty soon when Junius logs on. So I will get a ping from him. I'm going to go text him and say, ready. Cool. Now until he logs on, I'll get a little bling when he logs on, so we're gonna... Oh, he wants me to text the invite link. I can do that. Okay, participants, how do I share this now? Invite, copy URL, boom. Passcode. I'm not telling you guys the passcode. I'm telling Junius the passcode. That would be pretty funny if I said it publicly, because I'm sure we would get some Zoom bombs. In fact, if anybody wants to Zoom bomb who knows us, feel free to let me know, because I'm not necessarily opposed to inviting others to this little powwow. There's Junius. Junius Paul.
What's up, brother Greg?
What's up, brother Junie? How are you, man?
Man, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm even better now that I'm talking to you, man. It's been a long time.
It's been a minute, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. This whole quarantine and no touring thing, man. But yeah, it's wild. But I'm so happy to talk to you, man. I'm so happy to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
I know a lot of other people are happy too, because Junius Paul is the talk of the town right now.
Oh man, shit. Just trying to make my instrument talk in some way or another.
Always.
Always,
man. You always do. What's the name of the new album? Let's let people firstly know about this record that you just put out.
Oh, well, thank you, man. Yeah, the name of the album is ISM, ISM, and it was released on November 22nd of 2019 last year, and it's been getting a lot of love. It's a mixture. I would say a mixture of a lot of different types of musical energies. I have, I believe, 16 people in total on the album, and then even more that were part of the recording process. And, of course, some tracks with Mickey, you were part of the recording process as well. And I'm happy that I can say that. And yeah, it was just co-produced by Micaiah McCraven. And Micaiah actually was the one that came to Scotty McNeese. Oh, I'm going to adjust the seat a little bit. He was the one that came to Scotty McNeese in probably, I think, 2016. Mm-hmm. I was like, of course, Micaiah being within the national anthem and releasing multiple albums. Was good friends with Scotty, as was I at the time. But of course, they were really close from their business dealings.
Mm-hmm.
And so he came to Scotty and was like, "Yo, man, I think it would be cool if Junius did an album," because I hadn't done an album yet.
I know you had all these little recordings that you were taking around, like when we were touring, and you were working on your phone or your iPad or something, and like had all these cool beats and things, but you hadn't put out any music.
Right, I hadn't released anything, so I'm glad that Micaiah went to Scotty with that idea, and then Scotty came to me, and maybe around spring of 2016, and was like, "Hey man, you want to do an album with Anthem?" I was like, "Sure, of course." And so Scotty laid the groundwork for organizing the sessions. They're vast majority live. We had one studio session that was actually done in January of 2019. So it was 9 live sessions throughout the course of 2016, and then one more in 2018, another live session at Co-Prosperity Sphere. And then we did the studio session in January of last year. So it's about 4 years, about 3.5 years in the making, the album is. And I'm proud of it. It took time to get all the ideas together, find out what we're going to use and what not. Of course, Micaiah doing some editing work as far as he made some beats on the albums from some of the live stuff and the studio stuff. And then also he took some of the live stuff and just maybe chopped some stuff down here and there. But then there's also a lot of long play on the album that Micaiah just left alone. So it's a mixture of a lot of that stuff. And I'm proud of it. I'm glad that it all came together when it did. I'm glad that it got released when it did. And yeah, I'm just grateful, man. Grateful for everybody that's been a part of it. Grateful to International Anthem.
Well, we're grateful that you put it out into the world, man. It's such a, for those of you who haven't checked it out, it's an incredible record, and I've listened to it several times from start to finish, and I recommend you do the same thing. If you're just chilling out one day in quarantine, which all of us are all the time, just if you don't have the vinyl, which I would recommend picking up the vinyl, but if you don't have that, go onto Spotify and just start it from the top and listen to it all the way down. It's quite an experience, and it's also indicative of the Chicago sound and the Chicago scene, and it's a beautiful description of a point in time for all of us.
Thank you, man. Yeah. I feel like it's definitely a culmination of the influences that I've been able to just have thrust upon me through the years. And that's really one of the things I'm most grateful for, is that not only that the project is what it is and that it was able to be released and the whole thing and that the world got to hear it, but the fact that I was able to draw from a lot of people that I came up with on the music scene in Chicago and, even around the world, mostly Chicago, with Isaiah Spencer, Tamika Reed, Vincent Davis, my quartet, which is Vincent Davis, Cory Wilkes, Justin Dillard, Scott Hesse, Irvin Pierce, Rajiv Halim, Jim Baker, Shanta Narula. I mean,
the scene goes deep, man. I remember some of the shows that we played with Cory back in the day, and some of the releases. We have some releases like that. What was it? The Kind of Miles album that Cory did.
Radio Over Miles.
Well, we have Radio Over Miles, and yes, actually, that's one that, but that's not out right now. You can't find that anywhere because I removed my whole catalog, which was maybe a dumb move, but we're gonna re-release all that stuff. And
sell that joint for $100 now,
right? Totally.
Do the Nipsey Hussle proud to pay vibe. You know what I'm saying?
For real, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So what was the other one though? You said Radio Over Miles, and then
remember Cory when? Actually, I don't know. Maybe you didn't even know about this.
Oh, it's the Velvet Lounge. That's the one with Xavier Breaker, myself, and Cory and Kahil. Yeah, Kahil Elzabar for sure.
Yeah, I guess that was it. But there was another show though. Well, it was either that or I feel like I remember playing a show that was upstairs at some car factory. Or it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't a factory. It was like a car. It was like a lounge that was built by a car company for some promotion thing, and we played upstairs. And I remember because I brought my Rhodes up the stairs, and you were playing. And you were playing bass.
It wasn't Elastic, was it?
That might have been Elastic.
Was it Elastic? Because Elastic is the only place I could think of at that time.
No, it wasn't Elastic. It wasn't Elastic. It was another place. And it wasn't Elastic Arts because I know Elastic Arts. I remember that. By the way, for those of you who are not from Chicago and don't know the Chicago scene, these are venues in Chicago. Like the Velvet Lounge was just, I mean, it is legendary now. Rest in peace, Velvet Lounge.
Rest in peace, Fred Anderson.
Rest in peace, Fred Anderson.
And Uzi. Yeah, Uzi,
Yeah. But that was one of the places where, first of all, we all met. Like, there wouldn't be this scene in Chicago if it weren't for the Velvet Lounge, because that's where I met Junius. That's where, like, I remember hearing Isaiah Sharkey play.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, Sharky's the homie. But yeah, so this was at the newer Velvet Lounge when it was on 67 East Sarmac. And we were actually supposed to have a gig with Chris McBride. And for whatever reason, the gig actually never happened. But I got there for the gig, and Isaiah Sharkey, we were both on the gig, and we both got there. We were like the earliest there. So he was there before me, because this is back when his brothers like were still dropping him off, because he was like, you know, I don't know if he had a car or anything like that, but it's like brothers still dropping him off. But anyway, because that's how he used to get to the jam sessions. Like, he would come in with his older brothers, and they would all just hang. It was cool, you know, when he was like way younger. But anyway, we're both at the gig, and I have my upright bass and my electric bass set up, and you know, we're just like talking at the tables or whatever. You know, we both were set up, you know, we're off the stage, and so we're having this conversation, and finally he's like, "Hey man, you mind if I just like mess around with your bass?" And I had my, well, I still have it, but at the gig I had like my 4-string Fender Jazz, and I was just like, "Yeah, of course, man. Like, no problem." So he gets up there and just like starts playing like some of the baddest stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
And I'm just like, wait, you know, I turn around, you know, of course, because I mean, we all knew what he could do on guitar, but I'd never heard him play bass. And so I was just like, you know, I just turned around and I'm just like, oh my God, come on, man. This is like crazy, you know, just playing like just ridiculous stuff, just off the cuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
yeah, just completely, just messing around, but to completely slate it. This like, But how old you say? How old was he? 16, 17?
He might have been about 16, 17 by this time. Yeah, little older than when we first met him, but yeah, not far. And so he played the electric, and I'm just like, "Yo, bro, that was amazing." And so he's like, "Yeah, you know, you mind if I like mess around with your upright a little bit? You know, just all humble and stuff. You know, Sharky, like just super humble about it.
Yeah,
you know
of course.
What I'm saying? But, hey man, you mind if I like mess around with your upright a little bit?" And I'm just like, "Oh God, come on, man." Yes, of course. Like, you know, let me see where this goes, you know? And so it gets on the upright, and it's like, you know, of course, obviously you got to have caliber. This thing's you got to build up on the upright, like to get like, you know, whatever. You know, everyday process for all of us bass players for life. But, you know, he picked up the instrument, and there was such a natural, like, sensibility of like language that he already had with the double bass, you know, because the double bass kind of speaks in its own way. Of course, it's bass, like the electric bass or the gimbal or any type of low-end instrument, you know, the bottom part of the piano. But it's like there's still like certain sensibilities of like playing bass that it's like you can't just apply straight from guitar, straight from piano, straight from any other instrument. It's got like any instrument, it's got its own vernacular, and it was like he starts walking the bass line, and it's just like in the language, in the vernacular, like he's had an upright bass his whole life or something, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, man, if I gave you 30 days with either of these instruments, like we're all fired.
No, seriously, man, he was beyond at such a young age. I remember my big like wow moment with Sharky was when he played Giant Steps, and he must have been 15 years old, and we like somebody called Giant Steps, and he started playing it, and he started tapping like crazy shit over Giant Steps at like 15 years old. I'm like, who is this kid? This is insane.
I remember that night. I was there. Yep. Yeah, I do it. I swear I remember that night. Yep.
Yeah, man, Chicago was that place was a breeding ground for amazing music. And
absolutely.
I mean, Kevin Neighbors was watching earlier. I don't know if he's still watching. He probably is, but Kevin was one of the homies who was there all the time. And
Kevin Baladon, what's up, bro? Yeah, man. Yeah, like in Dennis, Winslet, Kobe Watkins, those were kind of the big homies first coming in, when I first started coming into the Velvet. It was actually through Justin Dillard. Justin told me about it.
Oh, okay.
And I eventually came down, and that's when I met, because Justin went before I did. And that's when I started like meeting all the cats. That first week I met Cory, I met Isaiah. They came down.
Yep,
and
that's
these
when I
were
met
like
Cory
our
too.
college years. Yeah, and like I was in college, so it'd be like, there's so much I learned from the Velvet, from the inside and from the outside. Like, I eventually got the gig as the house bassist for the jam session on Sundays, as Justin as the pianist. And so it will be that quartet, Dennis, Kobe, myself on bass, Justin on piano. And so they would all, Cory, Kevin, Zeke, or Isaiah, and the cats, they'd all come down every week. And so I'm in college, and I've got like Monday class the next day, like 9 a.m. But it didn't matter. Like when we got done with the Velvet, the hang was in order. Like either the Dragon Room or the Blue Note. Papa G used to spin reggae on Sunday nights across from the Double Door, the WWE. But yeah, oh man, the hangs 5 and 6 a.m. man, and with 9 o'clock class on the regular.
I don't remember where it was, but I remember breakfast food somewhere, like really greasy, like bacon and cheese and eggs breakfast food happening like at 3 a.m. after Velvet Sessions. I don't even remember what the restaurant was that we would go to, but it was just gross little greasy spoon, and it was so good. In fact, that's where I met Emma Dayhuff, who just gave us a wave on the chat. Hi, Emma.
What's up, Emma?
I met her at one of the hangs afterwards when we were all eating a bunch of like just terribly unhealthy food at 3 a.m.
At 3 a.m, exactly.
It was so good.
Yep.
Hey, the what's that behind you, man? Well, is that your record collection?
Part of it, yeah. These are
part of it.
I don't know if you can see back there. Yeah, I've got some more like shelving on the side here, but yeah, this is the most of it. Yeah, and then I've got, like I said, I got 2 more over here. But yeah, I love records, man. I am a recipient of a lot of records from my parents. For my 18th birthday, they asked me what I wanted. I was just like, I want all you guys' records, because they were in the basement. And they would let me play them before that, but I would have to bring like whatever basically the rule was before then, whatever I brought upstairs to play in my room, because my dad brought me to when I was like 14, my first one. He was like, whatever you bring up, you gotta take them all back downstairs that night. And like whatever it's like if you take something out, you gotta put something back. It was always that kind of vibe. And so they finally just gave me their collection when I was 18. And since then I've just added on, my own way. But yeah, a lot of that is my parents, man. So I'm very grateful for that. A lot of there's a library back here, man, that I inherited. So I'm grateful for that, man. I can just pull out a record. There's still records that I haven't listened to that my parents did.
Well, yeah, bro, what you're able to dig into on records is very special. I think that's one of the things that informs your sensibility and your musical style, because you draw from music and songs from an era that everybody knows and loves, but from actual songs and music that are obscure and people don't necessarily know about. Like I remember you spinning at it was after you played with Micaiah and Marquise. I think it was in London, like maybe 6 months ago or something like that, and you were spinning these records that I just remember thinking, like, how did he find that shit? Like, it was so banging, and I had never heard of it or heard any element of it in my life, and it was just so special to be able to have that catalog at your disposal and be able to like go through it and figure it out. How many records would you say you have?
Oh man, I haven't even taken count. I don't know how many are in. I mean, let me see. This will probably, each square will probably equal, I don't know, maybe 50. I would say, I mean, over 1,000, obviously, maybe even around 1,500, something like that, maybe to the twos. Like, but yeah, I was definitely over 1,000, I would say.
Nice. And what's your favorite record that you have?
Oh man, that's Well, I'll say this. There's a favorite because it's just like my favorite, and then there's favorites that I have because of sentimental value, like from my parents. And so I would say my favorite like record that I own is Minnie Riperton's Come to My Garden. That's my favorite record. That's special to me because that's such a special record, and Charles Stepney obviously is very special to me. His music, and Minnie Riperton is very special to me. She's one of my favorite singers of all time.
Yeah.
And that's her debut album. And so as the years have gone, it's become more and more special, just because it's her debut album, and I now have a debut album. So I think about that a lot. So I'm just grateful for that album. And that's a pass down from my parents. And so that makes it that much more special. So it's a combination of the two. It's like this masterpiece, in my opinion, of an album. And then also it was passed down to me. So
that's beautiful.
I would say, for both of those reasons, that gets the number one spot.
Nice. Good, man. So I have a question for you, and this is out of my own genuine curiosity, but I'm sure other people will be interested in this too. What is your quarantine lifestyle like? Like, tell me a little bit about how the quarantining is affecting Junius Paul.
My quarantine lifestyle is very obviously chill because we ain't got nowhere to go, but secluded almost, I would say, if I were to pick a word. I'm an introvert by nature, and I'm fortunate that I'm a musician and a performing musician, because that gives me an outlet to be able to exercise my extroverted side. I mean, I'm not completely introverted, there's because I'm the youngest in my family, so I'm kind of a mixture of all the members of my family. The youngest in the family generally gets the combination of everybody, and so I'm kind of that. And so there's some introverted side, there's some extroverted side. So I'm both, but music allows me to really exercise the extroverted side and connect with people and, shake hands, and at least in the old days now, but that'll change, we'll get back there. But, shake hands and just really commune with people and break bread and, all that stuff. And so, but at home, I'm generally introverted, not really going out a whole lot. And just really trying to develop what I have in here. I'm fortunate to have a Fender Rhodes here, and I've got my basses, and so my iPad, my computer is down for right now. It's the worst time, but
really?
I've learned how to run a lot of stuff through my iPad, so it works out.
Nice.
Yeah, my computer, man. I got Finale, the latest version, and it crashed my computer.
Oh no.
So so now I have to and so, but I mean, it's been a while. I should have gotten it done earlier, and then COVID happened, and that kind of shut it all down. So, but anyway, I mean, I've still been able to run a lot of stuff in my iPad. So I've just been trying to stay in the creative zone. I've been cooking every day, which is cool because I like to cook. And so now I have the opportunity to do that. Because, when you're gigging a lot and when you're on tour, you don't really even being at home, I would end up eating out a lot just because I'd be running to this rehearsal or this gig or just places wherever. And so now I have the opportunity to just get behind the stove and cook breakfast every day and
What's your favorite thing to cook?
My favorite thing to cook, I would say anything kale. So I love to saute kale. So kale is I'm actually
very
growing
healthy.
kale. I have outdoor. I love it, man. And I like the texture of it, the taste, everything. You can do a lot with it. So I'm actually growing kale. I've got a little patio outdoor garden right now where I got some kale seeds, and so I'm growing some kale right now just because I love it. So I want a bunch of it. So anything kale. Really, I'm having the time now to really get. Rice is not the easiest to get. When you're cooking it. It may, unless you have a rice cooker or something, but I don't. I just do it out the pan. So or out the pot. And so getting my rice game down. But outside of kale, as far as a main dish, I love to bake some chicken because there's different ways you can do it. You can bake it in white wine. You can throw different seasonings on it. You can baste it in different things. So, and that's kind of my, if I'm doing a meat, I don't do a ton of meat, but if I do a meat, it'll generally be some chicken. And salmon. I love to bake salmon. So those would definitely be my favorites. I'm not frying a whole bunch of stuff right now, but I'll probably get to that pretty soon. But that's kind
Sounds
of my
very, very wholesome, very healthy. It's lean meats and veggies and kale, which is full of nutrients. That's nice. So you've got kind of
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna just make an observation. You have this peaceful, meditative lifestyle going on, and you're cooking, growing growing some kale in like a mini garden. It sounds pretty idealistic.
Loving it, man. Playing my records, I'm like, I've got the opportunity to do some deep cleaning in my place and getting all the little corners and shit, and so I'm really just appreciative, get to spend some time with my cats and just kind of chill and explore. I've been taking this time really to explore, like we were talking about last night via text, really explore a lot of different instruments. I've been on the keyboard a ton, just like, I'm not trying to like get to your level or like Herbie or Chick or anything like that. I mean, I don't know. I may die of old age before I get to that level. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, just really working out harmonies. For example, like I'll play a record, just be sitting around playing a record, and I'll be like, "Yo, man, that's like, just be like a dope progression or like harmony or song form." And so I'll just take it to the roads and work it out and just really get inside of it, studying scores and that kind of thing. So nice. Really in study mode. I mean, I've been in share mode too, but more than anything in study mode.
Nice. Well, before I let you go, I want to have you play something for everybody. What would you be up for that? And if so, what would you prefer to play? Like what instrument and music? And it's totally up to you if you're down for it.
I'm gonna do a mixture of things. I have my partial small instrument setup back here, like a smaller setup.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do partially that, and then I'm gonna pick up my bass for a little bit and just play like a little ditty something, and hopefully that will suffice.
Brilliant, man. Well, you just go for as long as you want to. I'm excited to hear you do something. I haven't heard any Junius Paul in way too long now, so I'm excited for it.
Thank you, man. I'm just gonna be speaking off the cuff, man.
Beautiful.
All right, I'm gonna do a little camera adjustment and grab my axe and then.
Okay, great. Well, I'll talk to the people while you're doing that, because everybody, I put up a little note there so you all know who it is the whole time. It's Junius Paul. This is a bassist, an incredible bassist, one of the, at this point, foremost bassists on the scene right now, getting some attention that he has deserved for a long time. And those who know him in the Chicago scene are very happy to see it happen. He has a recent album called Ism, which is out on International Anthem, co-produced by Mackay McCraven. And it's something that you can check out on Spotify. Yep, there it is. Exactly. You can get the vinyl. I'm sure you can find the vinyl on various outlets where vinyl is sold. Junius.
Double CD as well.
What's that?
I said double CD as well.
Oh yeah, double CD. Cool. Yeah, it's a serious amount of music. We're all very happy that it's out in the world. It looks like you might be ready over there, Junius.
I think I'm ready to roll, bro.
All right, everybody, this is Junius Paul. I'm going to let him do his thing. If you hear any tinkling of piano, that's because I just couldn't help myself in joining a tiny bit, but it'll be almost definitely mostly him.
Yeah, get in where you fit in, man.
Cool. All right. That's awesome. Here, okay, I'm turning my mic back up. I turned my mic down to avoid the hiss that's coming from my room over here. I think that was sounding just awesome, the way that audio was coming through.
Beautiful. I was wondering. I was hoping so.
Yeah. And then, obviously you're playing. This is brilliant, man. Just, it's refreshing to hear you live again, man. I really miss it. I mean, I guess it, too, yeah, it hasn't been that long, but it feels like it's been a long time.
Feels like forever, man. We've been stuck in the house for a while. And so, if I can just take this moment, for all musicians and all artists, everybody really, but especially to my fellow artists out there, to just, if I can say anything, use this time to really build within and create. And all the live sets have been beautiful, and I appreciate everybody's expressions and like everybody doing teaching exhibits, all kinds of stuff. It's been beautiful. And I just encourage more creation, encourage more exploration, and we'll get out of this okay, and everybody will, I think, not only survive, but thrive in the end. So, just shout out to all the artists who are enduring this, at this time, and shout out to all the essential workers who have to leave the house. They don't have the luxury of just like staying at home to flatten the curve. They're out on the front lines. Everybody that's out on the front lines, you're definitely in my thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Let's endure, and let's be positive and lift each other up as much as we can through these communications that we have with each other. Use the tools that are at our disposal and power through this era in human history together.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
well,
sir.
Everybody, this is Junius Paul. I'm so excited to have had him on here. Junius, I'm going to let you go with a gigantic thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on here. It was amazing for me, and I'm sure amazing for all the people who were listening.
Amazing for me as well, brother. Thank you so much, really.
All right. Stay safe over there, man. And
you too, bro.
Send me some record recommendations when you find cool stuff like deep in the catalog.
I'll do that. Cool. That'll be what's up. I'll do that. I got you.
All right, brother. See you soon.
All right, family. All right, man. Peace.
Peace. Oh man, Junius Paul, everybody. That was Junius Paul with the man, when he plays the blues, I just couldn't help but play along with him a little bit because it feels so good. Well, yeah, what can I do? What can I do or say after that? That was Junius Paul. Check out his record. It's called Ism on International Anthem. And stay tuned for more music from him. And also, we're due for having him on this recording that I'm working on. I was playing you a little bit of it earlier called The Chicago Experiment, where you've got Marquise and Micaiah and Joel Ross and all these cats on it. That's going to come out next year, but that is I'm gonna be recording Junius on that, and maybe I can get him to just do some stuff in his home studio now that we're all quarantined. But anyway, that's it for today. I feel like ending it with blues, but it's hard to talk and play the blues at the same time because it really sucks in your attention and keeps you there. So actually, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to say thank you, Junius. Thank you to all of you guys who tuned in for this show. This is Mornings with Greg every single morning, so please come back tomorrow. I'll have another guest on. Usually, almost every morning, I have somebody tune in and join me here. Stay safe and stay isolated and stay in communication. Please share this video, share the stream, and tell your friends to tune in tomorrow because I'll be back. All right. You guys are my reason for waking up in the morning, and I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.